What's up, guys? So today we're gonna work on a few kicking techniques on the bag. You do find a lot of guys that start kicking, they make a few mistakes. So before we go over that, I just want to go over the stance that I feel is best for mixed martial arts. So you do get that the boxers, a lot of them, they fight with a wider stance, right? More on this position, more wide, because obviously they rely a lot of punching off that drive, you know, with the feet. And then the kickboxers are a lot more that narrower stance. I think in the MMA you want a slightly, not too close, obviously because of the takedowns, not too wide because you also have to kick as well and defend takedowns if your leg is too far out. So just something to look over. Obviously the best stance is the stance that works best for you, that allows you to move better. But I just feel that if your stance is too wide, obviously that boxing stance shouldn't work that well. If it's too narrow, you can get taken down. Okay, the first mistake that a lot of guys, when they kick, it does happen on the pad and also on the bag, is that when they kick, they tend to bring the upper body forward. So they kick like this, get like that. And then obviously you stop kicking higher because you're coming a bit forward, okay? And then once you kick in the bag, right, you want this front leg to be slightly on the outside of the bag, okay? Because if I'm kicking, then my leg is too straight and I think I can't rotate properly, okay? So first thing that I recommend is getting your legs slightly turning. So now when I'm kicking, I want to be slightly on my toes, okay? So let's say if my hand is up and then I want to kick, I want my leg a little bit on the far side of the bag. And then if I'm doing the Muay Thai kick where I'm going to turn, I'm going to go on my toes and I'm going to, see how I turn my hips. So I'm here and then I pivot. See, I'm on my toes and then pivot. My chest, I want to open my chest when I kick. So I'm not going to go forward, I'm going to open my chest. So when I'm here, I turn. Like that. Rotate. See that rotation? Okay. Now you can also soccer kick. You do see guys like Jose Aldo, where they're not really looking for that turn. They're not really looking for that pivot. All they're doing is that they're just kicking all the way up this way. Okay. So it can work as well where obviously you don't want to be on this side because then the person is there. You're not kicking up. Most important thing, kicking on the back, you want your foot to on the outside. You can also just kick up. That's one way you're going for the calf kick. You just kick up, you don't turn that much. The body, you can also just kick up. The head as well, you can also just kick up as well. Okay, so first thing that we're looking at, we don't want to lean forward. We're gonna open our chest, especially for the Muay Thai kick, where you want to be sliding on your toes and you want to turn back. Okay? Alright, cool. Now we establish a few mistakes that a lot of people make. Obviously you want the leg to be on the far side, okay? Now another thing that also happens is that rotation with the hand. So let's say once I'm kicking with this leg, the ideal thing is for me to drop this hand, this same side hand, and then keep the other hand up. Okay, so when I'm kicking, I want to do this. But I have to be mindful that I'm still exposed here, right? So when I'm kicking, I have to also lean back and then turn. See? As I turn. See how I pivot my leg when I kick? Like that. That's more of the Muay Thai kick. But because of the MMA as well, you have to be mindful of catching your leg, okay? So that's why sometimes just that soccer kick works better. We're just kicking up. It's a lot harder for someone to catch your kick when you just kick up as well, okay? Now the trend that we've seen in mixed martial arts obviously is that calf kick, where guys are just looking to touch on that calf. It's extremely painful, okay? So now what we're gonna do, another trend that was going on quite a lot in mixed martial arts earlier this year, later, also the end of last year, was matching. Matching where guys, they're throwing a punch, leaving the hand there and then kicking straight away. So doing that, they like leave the hand there, match. Leave the hand there, match. So what it does is confuses the person that you're fighting with. So once we're moving, they leave the hand and match. So someone will throw a punch and then leave. Someone will throw a punch and then kick. See? So someone will throw a punch and then kick. That's also another thing that's happening. Obviously the calf kicks, something that's happening a lot of guys are doing. We've seen in recent fights where guys just can't walk anymore. Very important that if you are fighting someone is calf kicking you, obviously the kick does come a little bit fast, so you have to be able to turn out so that they can kick your shin. We've seen guys break their legs. Twice in the UFC now, we've seen guys kick very hard. That's why the calf kick, when you do kick, you don't want to kick so hard, because if the guy checks your kick, you can break your leg. We've seen that happen many times. So the calf kick, you just want to touch it, it's still very painful. Especially the first few kicks, you want to touch, and then if the guy's not blocking properly, then that's when you can kick hard, because it does happen when if you go too hard initially, the guys check your kick, then you also, your shins are gonna be gone, you know? So that's why very important. If someone also calf kicks you in a fight, you wanna calf kick them back, definitely, because if you can't get all those calf kicks, then it's gonna add up and you won't be able to move that well. Okay, so the last thing that we also wanna work, obviously there's many variations of the side kick that guys do. And then naturally you want to always set up your opponent. You don't want to just throw the same kick all the time, right? Another thing that obviously that TJ Dillashaw likes to do is that level change. So wherever he's fighting, he likes to level change and come up. Makes you think about the takedown. Because of mixed martial arts, the beauty of it is that you can take someone down. So they normally feint and then feint, come up, switch, come up. Guys like TJ Dillashaw sometimes will switch, come up to the head. So that does happen a lot where guys, they get caught obviously like that. But ideally, when you want to practice your kicks, make sure either you're working on that rotation, especially that roundhouse kick, get that hip going, twist. You can also obviously work that calf kick as well. We've seen, Ray Rodriguez recently fought amazing with the calf kicks, and then he switched it up with the head kick as well, and sometimes he threw that question mark. So as he moved, he kicked a lot. It wasn't more of like a Muay Thai turn, it was just more of like a straight up kick, right? And then he'll go up and go again. So it does happen a lot where he's very confident obviously with the striking, and then the kicks were amazing. So that's why I say you have to just practice and then make sure that you're nice and tight. Know when to drop your hands, know when to keep your hands up as well, especially with the kicks, because when you kick, you expose yourself from getting taken down. So that's why it's very important for you to know how to set up your kicks, what kick you want to throw at what specific time. So yeah, so just keep practicing your kicks, get that rotation, practice that soccer kick, and then that can add on question mark kicks, matching that TJ Dillashaw ways, moving, pretending like he's going for a takedown and goes for a head kick. That's the kind of new stuff that's happening a lot in mixed martial arts. And then yeah, just keep evolving. We do see guys, we had Anthony Pettis do fancy kicks. You don't see them as often, but when guys get it right, it actually does work really well. That crane kick Anderson Silva did, I think the sport is getting there where it's being more dynamic in the sport. So check out my other videos, guys. Like, share, subscribe, put comments in, let's get the conversation going. Let's see other stuff that I think will be beneficial to mixed martial art as well, what kind of stuff the guys can try as well. All right, till next time, cheers.